The stars were quiet that night, but as the sleek alien warship entered the Earth's atmosphere, the silence would soon be broken. The Zorath Empire had conquered countless worlds, and Earth was just another easy target on their list. Their plan was simple: invade, overwhelm, and claim the planet's resources. They had no idea what they were up against. Commander Xylar, a deep voice echoed in the control room of the Zorath flagship. "We are in position to launch the attack. Earth is primitive. It will fall easily." Xylar, a tall alien with scales that shimmered in the dim lights of the ship, nodded. He was confident, almost bored. His species had never faced a real challenge, and he expected the same outcome here. "Prepare to fire on Earth's largest cities. We'll begin with New York," Xylar ordered coldly. The crew of the ship obeyed without question. Earth was nothing more than a stepping stone to the Empire's expansion. Little did they know, Earth was about to show them something that no other planet had. In the heart of New York City, life was just like any other day. People were walking along the streets, carrying on with their routines, unaware of the disaster that was about to strike. But as the alien ships descended, their presence began to disrupt the air, causing strange vibrations and sounds in the sky. A young man named Mark stared up at the sky, his brow furrowing in confusion. "What the hell is that?" he muttered under his breath. The ships hovered above, their massive frames casting shadows over the city. For a moment, everything stood still. Then, without warning, the aliens opened fire, releasing a devastating blast that struck the ground below. Buildings crumbled and explosions rocked the streets. Chaos spread like wildfire. Mark, however, did not panic. He had seen his fair share of violence. Growing up in a rough neighborhood, he knew how to handle danger. But this was something new. He ran toward the nearest building, ducking behind the wreckage, trying to make sense of what was happening. His heart raced, but his mind stayed calm. This was a fight, and Mark wasn't one to run from it. Back on the alien warship, Xylar watched with amusement as the city below was torn apart. Earth's defenses were pathetic. The humans had no chance. "Commander," one of his officers said nervously, "we're receiving transmissions from Earth. They seem to be asking for reinforcements." "Fools," Xylar sneered. "They do not realize who they are up against. Let them beg." But something was wrong. The ship's sensors flickered as they scanned the surface below. "What is this?" Another officer exclaimed. "The humans, they're fighting back." Xylar's eyes narrowed. He had been briefed on Earth's primitive nature, but this was unexpected. Humans had nothing more than basic weapons, yet they were resisting. Small pockets of survivors seemed to be organizing, using their surroundings to their advantage. Mark had joined a group of people who were quickly forming a plan. They weren't soldiers. They had something the aliens didn't expect: strategy and sheer will. One of the survivors, an ex-soldier named Sarah, spoke up. "We need to take down their communication tower. If we can disrupt their ability to coordinate, we might have a chance." Mark nodded, his instincts kicking in. "Let's do it." The group set out under the cover of smoke and debris, moving quickly through the streets, using the broken buildings for shelter. They didn't have much time. The alien ships above were still launching attacks, but they were focused on destroying the city, not realizing that they were making themselves vulnerable. As they reached the base of the alien tower, Mark's heart beat faster. The Zorath soldiers on the ground were patrolling the area, their weapons glowing menacingly. But Mark and the others had an advantage. Humans were adaptable, and they knew their home better than any alien ever could. They set up traps, using simple explosives they had scavenged from abandoned cars and stores. Sarah coordinated the plan, while Mark and the others worked quickly and efficiently. Moments later, the trap was set. Mark looked up at the towering alien structure, his eyes focused. This was their chance. They weren't just fighting for survival, they were fighting for the future of Earth. With a deep breath, Mark triggered the explosives. Back aboard the Zorath warship, Xylar was starting to feel uneasy. He had expected the humans to flee, to cower in fear. But instead, they were doing the unthinkable. They were fighting back. "What is happening?" Xylar barked. His officers scrambled at their stations, unable to answer. Then the entire warship shook. The ground trembled as a massive explosion erupted from the surface below. The communication tower, their main link to the ground forces, was destroyed in a brilliant flash. "No," Siler screamed, his claws clenched tightly. "Get the fleet to retreat." But it was too late. The humans had figured out their weakness, and now they were using it. As the Zoreth forces scrambled to regroup, the humans launched their counteroffensive. With homemade weapons, bombs, and sheer determination, they began to turn the tide. Zeller's ship, once so confident in its superiority, was now under attack by a relentless swarm of Earth's most dangerous asset, humanity's unwavering spirit. Mark and his group weren't the only ones fighting. All across the planet, humans were standing together, defying the invaders. In the end, the Zoreth Empire learned a harsh lesson. Earth had humans, and when you mess with humans, you quickly find out that they are not to be underestimated. The alien ships, once confident in their victory, retreated in the face of humanity's fury. Mark stood amidst the ruins of New York, watching the last of the invaders flee into space. His heart swelled with pride. Earth had won, not because of advanced technology or overwhelming firepower, but because of the heart and resilience of the human spirit. As the dust began to settle, Mark looked up at the stars. "Next time they'll think twice before messing with us," he muttered with a grin. And that, the Zoreth Empire would soon realize, was the greatest mistake they could ever make.